are people who most of the time, no one wants to sit with them. No one wants to be their friend. No one wants to hear what they have to say or do the work to try to understand what they're saying.
Welcome to the Hatke Show, where we meet and talk to these amazing people who are doing something different with their lives and share their stories and experiences with you. Motivation for the specially abled. Sounds different, right? But in this video, I'm talking to this very different person from California who's been helping and guiding these specially different people for a very long time. He has worked with the Stanford University and many other educational institutes to basically help and guide these specially abled students. To begin with the podcast, let's give the audience a little introduction about you and what you do.
Yeah, so my name is Stefan Torres Esquer. People know me as Mr. Stefan. I am a special education teacher. So that means that I work with people who have cognitive and intellectual disabilities. I also do a whole bunch of other stuff. I am a public speaker. I create content and I consult with different organizations like Stanford University, some of the different school districts, and I help people to sort of promote inclusion and diversity and figure out how to create better systems within the systems that exist.
Wow. Wow. So after hearing about all these big organizations like Stanford, it really motivates me. Like, you're doing such a great work.
Thank you. You're doing such great work. I was telling you earlier that I really think that what you're doing is so amazing because, you know, so many of us don't learn about money at school. We don't learn about money at home. And then we go into the real world without the tools to create wealth or to create, you know, sustainable situations
Income.
for ourselves. Yeah. And so I feel like what you're doing is so amazing. And it's really needed for the majority of people on earth.
Right.
And so, and myself included. So I really admire what you're doing, and you also inspire me so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So Stephen, I read this disability advocate in your bio, and I was really curious. Like, this is the first time in my life that I've heard about this term, and a lot of our audience basically it's their first time too. So can you please explain it to me, like what exactly is that, and what do you do related to that?
Yeah. I love to, so I, like I said, I do a lot of different things, but probably the title that I'm most proud of is that title, the disability advocate, and really just an advocate in general for people, anyone who's different. Really the idea of diversity and bringing inclusion into this world where there's so much chaos and there's so much hate. I love that. That's of all the titles, that's my favorite title. And specifically, I focus on disability because that's my background, and I have a lot of experience working in special education, working with special needs. And so for a lot of my projects, that is the focus, is disability. And there are so many different ways to advocate. As you know, there are so many different ways to use your voice, to use your platform, just like you're doing. And, you know, when I do work as a disability advocate, a lot of the work that I do, a lot of the content that I put out is designed for the general public. And I really want to just sort of spread this message, right? That these people are out here. We're out here. We are just as cool, just as fun, just as talented as anybody else. And we deserve love, you know, the people that I work with, the people that I see every day. And like I said, anybody who's different, anybody who isn't the right skin color or doesn't speak the right language, all of us deserve to have a place in our society, a place in the communities that we create. And so I do all this crazy stuff to get the message out there. And, you know, it's a lot of fun. And it's also, I think, such an important type of work that all of us could do. You don't have to be, you don't have to call yourself an advocate to spread the word and to create change. And again, I really love everything that you're doing. And just the fact that you even invited me on here and that you even want me on here to talk about this is huge, because that shows that you also care about this and you also want to spread that message. So yeah, I think that's my favorite job of all my jobs.
Wow. That's really fascinating. So, I wanted to ask you this follow-up question, right? So you told me you have worked with you are working with Stanford and a lot of these organizations. So can you tell me about some experience that you had in your past, that basically any story you have for our audience related to what you do with Stanford or all these educational organizations?
Yeah, so it can vary, but like I said, I'm a public speaker, and so I do a lot of presentations for different organizations, and so it could either be that I'm coming in to present, and typically it's been about inclusion specifically for people with disabilities, but recently I've really been expanding to cover lots of different areas. It's not so much just disability for me anymore. I really, and I think part of it is because of the past few years, just the way that things have been going in the world. It's been difficult. It's been chaotic. It's been
Very
sad
painful.
in a lot of ways, painful, yes. And so these days, a lot of the work that I do, it's not just disability anymore. It's really expanding to be diversity in general. And that's why I like the word different, because I think all of us can identify with that. Every single person knows what it feels like to be different in some kind of way, and how much that can hurt. And so yeah, so when I work with Stanford, or when I work with school districts, or when I work with any organization, typically what I'm doing is I'm either presenting or I am consulting. So they might call me and ask about language that they should use in certain, certain paperwork or certain articles. They might call me with specific scenarios. I don't know what to do. We have these students who are experiencing XYZ. What are your suggestions? So that's typically the kind of work that I do when I consult with different companies and organizations.
Wow, that's really God's work. You're doing such a great job with all this stuff, and I really feel so good when I see basically people like you. I live in India, and there are so basically there are very less organization and people who are talking about all these stuff. So one more thing I wanted to ask you, and I was very curious about it. So sign language, right?
I do, yes.
Yeah. So when did you learn the sign language, and basically how did you basically get this idea that I should learn sign language and all this?
Yeah, so well, as you know, I work with people who have intellectual and cognitive disabilities. So a lot of times the students that I work with might be nonverbal, so they don't communicate with words.
No,
They're
actually,
not,
actually, I
yeah.
was asking you that uh, like you must have learned it, right, in your school days or in your education. So did you basically encounter with any situation, or was there any how did you develop this interest to basically learn sign language and this?
Yeah, well, you know what? I did take one class in college,
Okay.
but one class, just like with any other language, it's not enough
True.
to know anything. And so I spent a couple years after that not practicing, not really thinking about it. But then I met one of my really good friends who is deaf. I met her at work, and she initially we would talk using text message, even in person, because she's deaf and I didn't know sign at that time, or I didn't know it well enough. And she would just tell me about her life, and she would tell me about what a struggle it was for her. And I think a lot of times, I mean, depending on who you talk to and what their perception is, I think for a lot of people, they think that in America, it's so diverse and everybody's so inclusive and everybody cares about everybody else, but it's not like that all the time. And in fact, there's a lot of prejudice here as well, a lot of hate here as well. And I'm sure you can see that in the media and anywhere else. And so, I just in talking to this friend who became one of my best friends, and hearing her experience as a deaf woman, she's educated, she went to school, she has done well for herself, but still people are scared of her, or they won't even try to talk to her. They would schedule these employee get-togethers and just exclude her from it. She wouldn't even get an invitation. And so that's kind of what inspired me to learn the language, because I thought, this is one of my good friends, and I know that she doesn't have a lot of people in her life who she can communicate with in that way. So I just started watching videos. I started, there's this online kind of like a dictionary, and I would just go through and learn new words every day. And I'm still learning, it's still every day I watch YouTube videos of deaf creators who are using sign language. And it is important to me initially because of my friend, but once I started to do that, I realized there was this whole community that, just like everything else that I do, these people are misunderstood, left behind, ignored, forgotten about. And so then it gave me even more motivation to continue to learn and continue to use it and continue to kind of bring any kind of attention that I can to these people who a lot of times are, like I said, left behind and forgotten about.
Wow. Every time you tell me about some story or some incident or all this work that you're doing, it really, 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 I don't know what, it gives me so much positivity about all this. Like this is like, I've seen a lot of motivational speakers, I've seen a lot of content creators, but this is so much rare, and this is so much like beautiful. And you said this thing like uh, in today's world, these people, they think that they are different, but they're not. They're just
Yeah.
like us. Yeah. So I think this one thing that I want to add, I think in this new world, different is beautiful. So
Yes.
even if they think they're different, I think they're beautiful in a different way. And I really, again, I really love what you're doing. And so moving ahead, I had this really, really interesting question. So basically it's like, so you must have met a lot of like, you told me that you have a friend who's deaf. So you're working in an industry where you meet a lot of people, especially able people. So can you tell me about the incident when you met any person who really motivated you and inspired you to work better?
Yeah, of course. Well, yeah. So I have a couple of answers. One is obviously the students
Best
that I work
friend.
with, the people that I work with, and I've been doing this for a while now. And so even people who I don't work with anymore, we're still in contact through like video chat or whatever. And I really feel like they're my friends. These are people who I want to spend my time with. I'm not doing it just because I get a paycheck. Um, and so that always inspires me, just the fact that I get to go to a place every day where I love the people I'm around. And again, these are people who most of the time no one wants to sit with them, no one wants to be their friend, no one wants to hear what they have to say or do the work to try to understand what they're saying. So I love that. That's always inspiring. But one person in particular, I was when I was in college, I had a pretty difficult time because I'm so different and I have all these unique ideas, and I'm always trying to shake things up and do it in a new way and get people excited. And when I was in my special education program, it was a team of 4 professors, and three of them just really had a hard time understanding the way that I think and the way that I do things. And it got to a point where it was almost, they were almost mean about it. And they were almost trying to shut me down and get me to do things the way that everybody else was doing it. And I had one of those professors, her name was Kathy Deering, and we're still in contact today. She never put me down. And if anything, it was the opposite. She would come up to me and she would say, don't worry about it. Don't listen to them. You are different. And I want you to keep being different. I know you're going to do good things. I know you're going to change things. So just keep going. Don't worry about what everybody says. And I always think about that because it was this team, you know, I was just new in college. It was this team of professionals telling me, you can't do it that way. You have to come back over here and be like everybody else. And, you know, what would have happened had I listened to them? You know, I might not be who I am today. And so I always think about my professor, Miss Kathy, who just really made such a huge effort to make sure I knew, don't listen to that. Keep going no matter what anybody says. And so now I'm here doing all this crazy stuff.
Wow. Can I basically know about what you have degree in, and what was your education, and what did you do in your basically this education span?
Yeah, so I have a master's degree in special education. So that is my main degree.
Okay.
And then I also had to qualify for a teaching credential. And so I have a California teaching credential specifically for students with moderate to severe disabilities. And I also did an additional program that was specifically a specific certification for working with students who are deaf blind, so that they're deaf and they're blind at the same time. So that's sort of the summary of it all. And I did it all in one shot. I went straight from, I don't know what the system's like in India, but here you can either go straight to university or you can go to a college, community college first, and it's a lot cheaper and you just stay, you know, close to home. So I did that for years, and then I went to the university, and I worked at, do you guys have Chipotle?
Yeah.
I worked at Chipotle
we have
all through
one
college.
in Mumbai. I guess we have one in Mumbai, but I don't think we have one in Delhi. So basically, I live in Delhi,
Okay.
you know, the capital of India, and it's a very good place. So have you ever been to India?
No, never. I want to go though.
Yeah, you should.
I
You
do
should
want to
totally
go.
come to India. It's a very good place, and it's really, really beautiful. Okay, so basically, I had this one game planned to play with you. So to make
Okay.
this podcast even interesting, I basically had this game planned. Basically, it's a rapid fire game. Okay.
Okay.
So I'll
Deal.
be saying some words, saying some things, and so whatever the first thought that comes into your mind, you have to say it. Okay.
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 I'm nervous.
Okay. Okay. So let's start. So life,
Love.
happiness,
Peace.
Friday nights,
Fun.
society,
Damaged.
startups,
Lucrative.
podcasts,
Interesting.
power,
What was that one?
power, power,
Power. Power.
You're thinking a lot.
I'm stumped. I know.
Okay, let's move on.
Power.
Crypto.
Okay. Yeah. What was that one?
Cryptocurrency, crypto.
Crypto. Risky.
Okay. Music,
Fun.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
Motivation.
Motivation. Listen, I am bad at this game.
So you can, let's make it different. You can ask the same questions to me too.
Okay, deal.
Okay, yeah.
Deal.
Okay.
So then I'm gonna ask you the ones that I didn't know.
Okay.
Power.
Power, strength. I think
Okay, I like that one. I like that one. Cryptocurrency.
money.
Okay. You know what? When I said risky, I knew that was the wrong answer.
No. Cryptocurrencies are risky, but the first thought in your mind should be your answer. That's the rule.
And then what was the last one? It was motivation.
Motivation, inspiring.
Okay. I like that one.
Yeah. So I had this one question. So basically, we are living in a world where cryptocurrencies and all this metaverse, Web 3.0, it's a new thing too. So do you have an interest in cryptocurrencies or anything like that? Like,
I definitely have an interest. Honestly, that's one of the reasons why you are so inspiring to me, because like I said, no one ever taught me about money. No one taught me about stocks. No one taught me about anything, saving even. No one taught me about credit. And so that didn't happen for me at school, and it also didn't happen for me at my house. And so those are the only places that I had to go and learn. And so that meant that I didn't know anything about money when I became an adult. And I made some mistakes. I'm lucky because I'm sort of a careful person anyway. So I didn't make any major mistakes, but I also wasn't building the way that I could have been. And so I've had to figure out so much by myself, just so much reading and so much listening to podcasts, and so I think people like you, again, are so important, because you have the knowledge, you have the sort of drive, you love this stuff, and you're sharing it with people so that they can feel motivated and inspired. So I for sure have an interest. I want to learn more. I want to do more. I want to build, and I want to be literate when it comes to financial stuff and money. But it's really hard, So for me, I think it's super exciting because there's so much potential there. But it's also a little intimidating, I guess.
yeah. Okay. So Stephen, as you told me that you have listened to you listen to podcasts and all these. So basically, you also must have consumed these contents on YouTube, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So basically, can you tell me about a podcast or a YouTube channel or a content creator that you love or you think is very, very inspiring, and also, or maybe you have learned a lot from a creator. So can you tell me about a creator and to our audience that they can watch too? It can be related to any aspect, any topic, any aspect.
Yeah, you know what? I'm so bad at names. But but also I consume so much content, and a lot of times I'll just like watch the next one and the next one and the next one, and so I think the people that I like are the people who kind of break it down into simple terms, because there are so many creators who have their whiteboards and then they do all the tricks up there, and I'm just like, I don't know what you're talking about. but again, that's why I love your style, and other creators who have that kind of style. That's what speaks to me, and that's where I feel comfortable, and I feel like, okay, I can do this, I can learn something here. And then so I guess my advice would be to find where you're comfortable, and if there's something that just feels like it's too advanced for you or it's too tricky, I think the natural inclination would be to say, oh, I can't do this, I'll never be able to understand this, so I just give up. But don't give up, because there are so many different kinds of creators, especially now with YouTube and TikTok. There's such a variety, and there's so many different styles of teachers. And to me, you are a teacher, right? You're teaching the world. You might not be in a classroom, but the world is your classroom, and you're using your platform to do that. And so, I think just finding the people who make you feel comfortable, who make you feel like you can do it, because everybody deserves to know how to use their money if that's something that they want to know. And so we're just really lucky to live in an age where you can find that content if you really want it.
True, very true. Wow. Even, you said this thing that I'm like a teacher. So I just wanted to tell this to you too, that the content you are creating, like it's really, as I said in the starting too, and I've been saying this multiple times, that it's very different. And there are a lot of content creators like me there. Like, so there are a lot of content creators who are basically providing same knowledge, but trust me, the thing you are doing, the content you are creating, it's really, really, really amazing. And after I saw your profile, I shared your profile with a lot of my friends, and even they found it interesting. They, one of my friends said this to me, this was the first time he even basically saw a profile, saw a content, which is basically as you are making content for the especially able people. So it was his first time when he saw some creator making content like this. So it's really beautiful what you're doing.
Oh, thank you. Well,
So
like I said, I feel the same about you for sure. And I think that, again, what I identify with when I watch your videos and your content, and what the reason why I think I'm drawn to what you're doing, is that you're right. There are so many people doing a whole bunch of different kinds of things online. But I believe that you can see the intention. I can look at these videos, and sometimes it's just really easy to see when somebody's heart is in it, and when they're doing it from a place of love, and from a place of, I just want the world to be better. And I love that about you, is that that's the message that I get when I listen. I don't know you that well, so you might I could just be wrong, but I feel like every video I've seen of yours, every time I've seen you online, that's the message I get, is that you really care about making the world a better place. And so that, to me, is the most inspiring, most admirable thing. I don't care what kind of content you're putting out. I don't care what kind of, if that's your mission,
it should come from
then
your
I'm
heart.
impressed. Yes. And it's impressive, because we live in a world and in a time where it's okay to be selfish, and it's okay to only care about yourself. It's okay to step on other people. It's okay to to be racist and mean and hateful. And so the fact that you choose to do the opposite, and you choose to come from a place of love, that is impressive, and that is inspiring, and that is exciting. And so I'm just, again, I'm very honored that you would even want to chat with me. So
I feel
thank you
the
so
same.
much.
I feel the same too. Basically, I started basically making this podcast recently. So I'm not really, I won't say that I'm really good at it, but even, I'll tell you a story about myself. Okay. So right now I'm in, I don't know how basically this university and all this education works in America, but in India, what you do is basically you enroll in this junior classes, and basically you have to study in school for the first 14 years of your life. Okay. And after these 14 years, you basically graduate from your high school, and then you enroll in a college. Okay. So after enrolling into your college, you have to basically choose a specific field that you want to work in. And after you basically complete your graduation, which is of 3 or 4 or 5 years, you can go and basically get a job. Okay. So when I was basically, I'll say when I graduated from my high school, I got into a college. So basically, this is what happened with me. Okay, so in my high school, I didn't score very, very, very good marks. I was always an average student. I was not very bright, but I always had this, I don't know, curiosity for money. Always had this curiosity to basically know how money works and how all these money circulating things works, and it always motivate me. So I'll tell you an example of one very interesting story. So basically, when I was 13, 14 or 15 years old, so I always wanted to be an engineer. Okay, so I had this group of all these nerds. So we all planned to basically get into IIT. It's the biggest engineering college in India. Okay, so once you get into an IIT, your life is sorted out. You'll get a very, 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 very good job, and your life is set. But the difficult part is only, I guess, 4,000 or 5,000 people out of 2 3 5 lakhs, or I don't know, 2 3 or 5 lakhs people are basically get admissions into IIT. So it's very, very, very difficult and competitive. So what happened with me in India, you have to choose a field. Okay, so you have to basically, we have four options: science, medical, basically, which is medical, non-medical, commerce, and arts. So basically, I'll briefly what these things are. So science is basically for doctors and all these related fields, neurosurgeons and all these things. And
Yeah.
non-medical is basically for engineers and related fields. Commerce is basically for uh, basically business related fields, economic related fields. And arts is basically for law related fields, and basically the rest. So Indian education system is like I guess it's one of the worst education systems in the world. But yeah, this is what it is. So basically, I always had this even from the age of 10, I had this figured out that I will opt non-medical field, and I will become an engineer. I will get enrolled into IIT. I will try to get into IIT, and this was my whole future planning. And after basically, it's like you complete your 10th standard, and then you have to opt for a field, and then you choose the field, and you basically your class divides, and you have to study the subjects basically, which are specifically for medical students, non-medical students, commerce and art students. Okay, so what happened just 2 months prior, before I had to choose these fields, uh, I started a business. It was a social media marketing business. Okay, so I was just 15 years old, and I started this business. And basically, it was I don't know how to explain the business. I was very, very young. So to basically explain it in brief, uh, you must have heard about that business, that where you can increase followers and likes of an Instagram account for basically money, right?
Yes.
These are
Yeah.
fake followers and likes and fake everything like that. So basically, in India, when I was 15, this basically new technique basically got introduced, and a lot of people were basically trying to get more followers, more likes, to basically to look like they're famous. Okay,
Okay.
so yeah, so basically, you have to basically get a tool to provide these followers, these likes. So basically, I tried getting that tool from a third party, and what happened is he cheated me. I paid him $2,000, not $2,000, 2,000 rupees, and I paid him 2,000 rupees, and he cheated me. And after that, what happened?
Wow.
I felt demotivated. I was just 15 years old. I borrowed that money from my sister, and I was like it was so devastating for me. Like, what would I do? How would I return that money? Because I was just 15 years old. I didn't had any basically savings with me. I didn't had any job or anything. Like in America, people start doing jobs and all these side incomes from a very young age, and it's a very, very good thing that I love about America and all these developed countries. So yeah, so basically, I was very demotivated. And you know what happened with me? This random person on Instagram just basically, after 2 or 3 days of basically that I got scammed. After I got scammed, this random person, this random account on Instagram sent me that tool for free. I don't know why. Yeah, so
Really?
yeah, so basically I started that business, and it was a basically, I don't think it was perfectly legal, but I think the business was like a loophole. Okay, so it's not illegal to basically provide these followers, but I don't think it's completely, I'll say, right. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was very young, I didn't know what I was doing. So yeah, basically I started that business and I made very good money. Like, so this business worked 2 or 3 months for me and I made enormous money. Like I made 6 or 7 figures, 6 figure income. uh,
Wow.
and it was really, like, it was really changing for me. And
Yeah.
that was the time when I felt that I should do something related to this only. I love money, and I want to know how to basically generate money, and what are the different ways you can generate money, and all these stuff. So I wanted to know everything about money, and that was the time when I changed my basically uh, future perspective to basically commerce, which is this money related field, economic related field. And I changed it from my non-medical field. So this was the moment when I felt like I should do something related to it. So I should do something related to money. So yeah, money
Uh,
and trading and stock market and cryptocurrencies, all these things are really like I love this. So this is the reason why I wanted to tell you about the story, that this was the moment when I felt like I want to do this. So it was at a
yeah.
very young age, but yeah. So right now, as I told you, that you have to complete 3 years of graduation. I'm in third year of my graduation, and right now I'm 20 years old and I'll be 21 in this August. So the best thing about this stock market education and all this, my curiosity to learn more about money, it helped me a lot. I've been training a lot of students on my Instagram, and by using my platform on YouTube and Instagram. And there are a lot of people from my college, and there are a lot of people that are younger. Basically they're 15 or 16 years old and they're earning with me. So it feels very like it feels good to be in a field where you can help others earn some good money, which will help them, their families. Basically it will help them get a better lifestyle. So yeah,
Yeah.
this field is something that I really love. So I just wanted to tell you about this story, how
Yeah.
everything changed for me.
I love that story. And I again, I think you could do, you have a special set of skills and a special set of interests, and you could have done anything with that, but you chose to help people. And I think that's awesome, especially for people like me who I don't have that interest. I don't have, I mean, I want to know, but my mind just doesn't work that way. And so I'm sure there are so many people who come to you who, you know, like you said, the young people who are already earning with you, you're already changing their lives, and you're not even out of college yet. You're already a leader. And that's something to be proud of, and everybody has their own thing. Just, I mean, exactly how you're saying. It's a lot of people tell me like, oh, I don't know how do you do what you do? I wouldn't have the patience. It's so hard. Like, how do you handle it? I just love it. And so because I love it, that's, my calling, and everybody has their own calling. And the thing is, how are you going to use that? How are you going to contribute? How are you going to use that to contribute to the world? And I think what you're doing sounds like you're changing lives already, and those young kids who are learning to do these things that, maybe it took you longer to learn because no one taught you, or, and you now have this knowledge that you're able to share. I love that again, that's why I love your content. That's why I love your style, and the way that you present. It definitely communicates that you do care, and you do have passion here, and you want to share it with people so that they can better themselves, and have the things that they want. So I love your story.
Thank you so much. After basically, I really believe in this one thing, that money is secondary in basically money is secondary. If you do basically something that you're passionate about, that you basically love, you can make money, like tremendous money. You can make tremendous money. So if I know you love basically making content like this, you love basically trying to bring a change in the world, and trust me, we all will be able to make tremendous money if we basically follow our passion. And I know you are very passionate about all this stuff. And I know if you really want to basically learn how all these things work, and if you really want to basically invest and all these things, I'll help you out, don't worry.
Oh,
I'll
thank you
help
so
you out
much.
to make a very good crypto portfolio or even a stocks portfolio for you.
Oh,
So it will
thank
really be
you.
okay. So one I had this one very interesting question for you. So
Okay.
basically, this is something that I face too, and I know you must have faced too. And me being a creator on Instagram and on YouTube, there are times when I basically make content, and it takes me a lot of time to basically make that content. And when I post it, I don't get I expect a lot from that video or that piece of content, but when I post it, I don't get that much of likes and that much of views, and really it really demotivates me. And it really basically I don't know, it's a very different, and it's a very I don't know how to basically explain that feeling, but it's a very different feeling. So I think you must have felt it in your initial days, and you must have felt it like a lot of time. So how do you tackle it? Like what do you do? So can you tell me about that?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, I think when I first started to put things up online, I would have so much anxiety for every single thing. I would be like, oh my gosh, I'm not ready. And what if people make fun of it? And what if nobody cares? And then I started a few years ago, I did this kind of like a video series, and I actually went to like a film studio to film it and stuff. And so it was a lot of work. So it was even more anxiety because I just felt like, what if this is so
Things-
stupid,
what if things don't work
and
out?
yeah, and I put it up, and there a lot of people liked it a lot, and then there were a couple people who said mean things, or one person, it wasn't somebody I knew, it was just a random viewer, went to every single video just to post something mean. And it's
Oh,
just so crazy how all these people will say how great you are and you're so amazing and they love everything you're doing, and then it just takes one person, and
yeah.
then you're just like, oh, you're crushed.
Yeah. It really these people are really quick. I don't know what's wrong with them. Like, why are they basically spreading so much hate on all these social media
Yeah.
platforms? Like they don't have a, I don't know what if they have a life or not. They're just posting these mean comments on,
Yeah.
that's I can assure you that the same guy uh he's doing that to every content creator he sees online.
Yeah. Yeah.
And people are
Yeah. Yeah. I know,
yeah,
it's
so sorry,
crazy. I
continue.
know it. Well, yeah, I mean, it was just, I think, once that happens to you enough times, and I'm sure too, because you're an expert now, you do it all the time. You're not new anymore to content creation. So I think now, after the first few times, it hurts really bad. And then, it's either going to make you or break you, and I think a lot of people, it does break them. And that's not a bad thing. Not everybody needs to be online, but I just had to make the decision. Do I want to continue to do this and risk that a couple people are going to be mean to me? And obviously the answer is yes, because those people in the end don't matter too much. And I mean, even still, there are times when I'm scared to look at how many people like the video. And if it's a lower number, then I'm embarrassed, and for no good reason. Nobody else cares what what happens. It's just me in my head. So my kind of the way that I think about it is, I do put a lot of thought and effort into what I do and what I create. And I always tell myself, if I'm proud of it, then I'm going to put it out there, and I don't care who likes it. I don't care who sees it. I don't care what happens to it. I'm going to be proud of that. and I'm going to be excited about it regardless. And that's kind of, you know, my philosophy now is just, if I don't like it, even if I spend a lot of time filming something and I hate it, I won't post it, because I want to be able to stand behind my work. And as you know, it is going to be, it's almost like an online portfolio. And for future business endeavors, people can just scroll through and see all the things you did. And even if two people liked it, it's
You were
a
still doing
really
it.
cool piece. Yeah, and it's a really cool piece to have there as a portfolio that people can look at, and people could say, wow, like, look at all this stuff he's doing. Wow, look at all these cool things he's saying. And yeah, so that's kind of how I think about it. If I'm proud of it, then listen, you don't have to be proud of it, but I'm still proud
Wow.
of it.
You know, after there were a lot of things that you told, basically you told about your experiences, and it really motivated me too. You know, there are a lot of times when I feel this, I spent a lot of we all basically spend a lot of time on making these videos, these piece of content, and it really demotivates me a lot of times. You know, what happened with me a few days back. I've been on YouTube for, like, I guess more than 1 year now. It's almost 1.3 or 1.4 years now since I've been making videos on YouTube. And after basically in November, December, basically my average views on YouTube was 1,000 2,000 views per video. Okay,
Yeah, wow.
so basically what happened was my views, I don't know why, dropped. And they
Yeah.
dropped so drastically. Earlier I used to have 500,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 views. But now I'm getting 40, 50, 60, 100, maximum 150 views on my videos. And that whole month, that the month of December and halfway through January, it was so frustrating for me. I don't know, because I've been basically, I post a video every day on YouTube.
Yeah,
Okay, so
that's a lot of work.
yeah, I'm posting videos every day on every festival, on every weekend. Like I'm basically spending 3 and 4 hours every day on making that piece of content. And it really demotivated me during that period. But after basically spending that 1 or 1.5 months, I felt this, like, what if sorry, even if 30 or 40 people are watching me, what if they were around me, watching me make that piece of content, or basically seeing me doing that illustration for them. So w- I don't, I think I moved forward from it. Like, even if 30 or 40 people are watching that piece of content, it's helping them, it's helping
Yes.
30 or 40 people them. So it really helped me to basically get over this problem. Still there are days when I get the very, very few views, and it's more demotivating. But now, as you said, I don't care. If I love that piece of content, I'll post it. I don't care how many likes or how many views I get, I'll just post it.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I grew up, this is random, but I grew up in a family band. And so my grandpa, when he was young, he formed a band, a music band. And then when my uncles and aunts got old enough, they joined. And then when I was 10, I joined. And I did that for like 10 years. And it was like 4 shows a week and 4 hours long each, and all these different kinds of places. And sometimes it was like really big, cool places with lots of people, but other times it was really small, just like kind of like nothing kind of places with just a few people. It just depended. And my grandpa always told, ever since I was young, he always told me, whether there's one person in the room or 1,000 people in the room, you should put on the same show, because that one person deserves as much of your energy and as much of your, as much of your talent as a room full of people. And that's always how I think about it is, whether it's 5 people or 5,000 people, they're people, they matter and they're important. And so, the numbers still sometimes hurt a little bit if it's lower, but I mean, when you think about it that way, I think you're right. Even if it's just one, if one person sees your video and thinks, you know what, I'm going to learn more about cryptocurrency, or I'm going to learn more about investing, or I'm going to, even I love when you do the videos that are about, if you're feeling unmotivated, then, maybe somebody is just feeling unmotivated, and they see you, and it gives them the power to get back up. Then, that's kind of, yeah, like I said, you're right. It's that one person is going to be changed by the content that you made. And so, yeah, it's hard sometimes, but
You know, that line you basically told me about what your grandfather said, it was really, really amazing. Like, I literally got goosebumps. Like even that one single person needs that full attention. Basically, you should give your basically full talent to him. Like it was really amazing. I will write it down today and I will make a video on it tomorrow.
Okay. I love it.
This line was really, really good. Like it really, I literally got goosebumps. Like it was really amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, my grandpa's a wise guy.
So can you tell me more about that band? Like what you used to perform about, basically, was it pop or what was the basically genre like?
Yeah, it was, I mean, it was really a
I'm
great
just very curious.
experience. Yeah. So my family is, I'm Mexican. I live in America, but my family's Mexican descent. And so my grandpa came to the United States from Mexico when he was young. And he started a Mexican band. It was all Mexican music. And then when my uncles and aunts came around, they were obviously Mexican American. They were Mexican, but they had a lot of American influence. And so they joined the band, and then they started to do, kind of a fusion where it was, they still did Mexican music, but they also incorporated some of the American music that was big in those times. And then when I was old enough, I joined, and kind of the same thing happened, where then they were having me bring in new ideas. And so it was so much fun because we got to do such a variety of stuff. And because we're a family, everybody has their own interests. So like my uncle loves rock music. So we did some rock music, we did Mexican music, we did R&B music, we did pop, and they still perform all the time. I don't do it anymore because when I went to college, I left the city, and I'm back in the city now, but that's kind of their thing now, and I do my own thing. But it was a great experience, and my favorite part was definitely working with my grandpa, because he's one of my favorite people. He always has so much wisdom to share, and so I think I'm definitely who I am today because of him and the rest of my family.
Wow. I really love basically the families from music, basically from music background. When I was young, I used to play guitar.
Really?
Yeah, I was just I learned guitar at a very young age, but basically I played guitar for like 3 or 4 years. Then I stopped playing it for, I don't know. I think I was older, and I got into a lot of things, but basically different things. That's why I stopped playing it. But I started playing guitar when I was like, I don't know, 8 or 9 years old, and the guitar was even basically the size of the guitar was bigger than me. So I really love, basically, even my family. Basically, my father is he didn't do any basically these music shows or anything like that, but he has a very good voice. So I really love families who are from music background and all this, because I personally love music, and I personally love these bands, and that's
I
why
just noticed the guitar in your background.
yeah.
Nice. I love it.
Yeah, so I really love basically families from music background, and I was very curious to know about your band. That's why I asked this one. So one more thing,
Yeah.
can I find your basically family band on YouTube or anywhere else? I like for our audience too. I'm sure that even they are very curious to basically know more about this band, and even I'm very curious to basically hear some music or played by them.
Yeah, they're called the Mike Torres Band. My grandpa's name is Mike Torres, and so
Okay,
it's the Mike Torres Band.
can
And
you please spell it?
yeah, it's Miketorres.
Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Okay.
And then band. Yeah.
Band. Okay. Okay. So everyone in our audience can search it too on YouTube. Okay. Right?
Yeah, they can search it
Yeah.
on YouTube. They're on Facebook.
Okay. I'll search it. So okay, Stephen, one last question that I wanted to
Okay.
ask you. Okay. So any good piece of advice or basically a suggestion that you want to basically uh, tell to our audience, that any good piece of advice or any wisdom that you want to share? You already have shared a lot of things with us and our audience, but still any like golden advice you want to give to us all?
Yeah, you know what? Probably my favorite piece of advice is just don't take yourself too seriously, because I think that's where we really get into problems. You know, it's when you think that you're so important that you can put people beneath you. And you know, again, that's one of the things that I love about you and your style is you're so smart and you're wise and you're sharing this content, but you do it with humility still. You know, you're humble and you care about people. And I think if all of us, if every person can do that, you know, just decide today, you know what, I'm not going to take myself that seriously, because it's not that serious. You know, at the end of the day, what really matters is life, living life, you know,
Being
and
happy.
being happy, having respect for other people, and you know, what else matters besides that? And so yeah, that's my favorite piece of advice. It's not that serious.
No, actually it's a very very good piece of advice. I really liked it. One more thing that I planned, that was fun for this basically podcast. So Stephen, you know sign language, can you teach me some like something to do with basically I don't know anything about sign language, but so can you teach me anything that you want to?
Sure. Let's see. um what about what's up?
Okay,
If you want to
that
say
sounds
what's
good.
up to somebody, okay,
Yeah.
then you just get your flat hands, you stick your middle finger in a little bit like this,
Okay.
and then you just go like that. What's up?
What's up?
Yep. What's up?
What's
Yeah.
up? Oh wow, that was really good. Okay, so any more thing, like?
This is another one. You might already know this one. So this in sign language is I love you.
Okay.
And so I love this sign because it's you know, it's just such a positive sign, and it's actually something that a lot of times people who are deaf, they when they're leaving, you know, if you're walking in to the car and you guys are going to separate and go home, you know, you could kind of like wave it out like, okay, see you, love you. And so I love that sign. That's probably my favorite.
Also to our audience, we love you.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so wow, this was a very interesting and very motivating podcast, and I hope you loved it too. So
Yes, I did.
yeah, it was very interesting to talk to you and to know about more, to know about so many things. So thank you so much, Stephen, uh, to give us some time to basically do this podcast with me. Thank you so much.
Thank
And
you for having me.
we
I'm so
we will
honored.
we'll still be connected, or we'll be still be connected on Instagrams, and I hope we'll be doing a podcast very soon again.
Love it. Anytime.